Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to the Be Fabulous Show. And welcome to the month of February, which it is the month of love. With that said, I would like to talk about a very important topic, which is unconditional love. But before I talk about and dive into that subject, I would first like for everyone that has a birthday in the month of February or January, okay, to please drop comments and drop your cash apps so that you can have lunch on me. Now, of course, there will be only one drawing for January and February. But please do me a favor and drop a comment into the comment section, and you will definitely have lunch on me. So, yay, that's a good thing, right? And I hope everyone is having a great 2024 so far. I want to make a point. Today is February 2nd, 2024. Think about it. You got 2, and 24. So that is like 2 is the number of agreement. So agreement, and then 24. We talked about that last month. 24 is the year of open doors. 24 is also the year of judgment. So that's a door as well. But we want to make sure, and we're claiming, okay, we are claiming, declaring, and decreeing that good things are happening this year. But I just wanted to bring out that note. So if you stand in agreement, like the Bible says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, what? Okay, things, God is in the midst and things will definitely get to happening. So you are in agreement with me. I'm definitely in agreement with you. And we're just in a spirit of expectation, right? So let's dive into it. Oh, also, I would like to thank everyone that viewed the first broadcast, which was wonderful. Thank you for your support. Once again, like it, share it, tell everyone that you can, and please subscribe. Okay. So I want to talk about it. And remember, my son is also still working on the theme song. I have the words, y'all, but he has to get the music together. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm doing these live broadcasts. So I am doing my very, very best to make sure that I don't mess up, right? Excuse me. So here we go. We are diving into unconditional love. This may be a 2-part series. All right. So we have unconditional love, and subtitles under that is going to be forgiveness, and then it's going to be healing, because unconditional love, everyone nowadays have their own definition of love. But then there's one definition that I think we all need to pay attention to and kind of guide our life or our thinking around that definition. So that definition would be 1 Corinthians 13. Paul talks about an agape love. Okay, what is an agape love? It's it's a love that's giving, selfless, expect nothing in return kind of love, right? Wow, that's powerful. That's a lot. Giving of yourself, expecting nothing in return, and being selfless. I will say this right off. Not everyone is deserving of that type of love, in my opinion. You really have to have a spirit of discernment. Some people look at it as being weak. Some people will walk all over you because they say that you're kind-hearted or you're too soft or things like that. But we have to admit everyone deserves love. Right, they do. But it's very hard to give that unconditional love to people who make it hard for them to love them. You ever met someone it's just hard for them to love, hard for you to love them because everything you do, it's like they do the opposite. Some people out there, they really, really fight you to love them. And usually that's because of their background. That's because of some traumatic experience that happened to them. Some people have walls built up around them because they don't want to be loved, meaning they don't want to be hurt. Sorry, they don't want to be hurt. So therefore, they try to keep you at bay, right? They try to keep you at bay. And so it's just almost like impossible to love them. But there are some things I want to go over. In First Corinthians 13, it talks about long suffering. It talks about do not envy. Or love is not envious. It talks about love is not provoked, and love that does not rejoice in iniquity, and love enduring all things. So I want to break those things down. All right. Long suffering. That means like just really, really being patient with someone. In today's society, we, oh my gosh, people don't give love a chance. He need to get it right, or he's he's out the door, or I'm out the door. They're out the door, she's out the door. People don't want to, as grandma would say, stick with it. Okay, so when you think about it, let me be honest with you. I have had some friends that have been very regretful because they threw away someone too soon. So, yeah, we don't want to do that. When you think about it, another thing that we don't do in today's society, we don't take the time to get to know each other. When someone does something, I mean, you want them out the door. It it's more to people than a mistake. Can I say that? It's more to people than a mistake. Everyone deserves for you to get to know them. Okay. Now, I do understand that behind every action is a reaction. I get it. I get it. But take the time to learn a person. All right. So, once again, let me see here in my notes. We live in a throwaway society. People want to get rid of you, or get rid of people that are difficult to get along with, whether they are friends, family, or acquaintances. You don't have time for it, right? True love puts up with people who would be easier to give up on. So the next time, if you really, it could be a child. Come on, people that are parents. Just because you are a parent, sometimes we don't like our kids. Sometimes our kids don't like us, but that doesn't mean to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to live through it. You have to grow through it. Okay? So I guess people hmm we may say, well, they're not my relative. I don't have time to spend on them or things like that. But just really reconsider people. I tell you what, people that mean something to you, people that um, have some type of significance in your life. Try to focus on the fact that you're going to be more long suffering. Okay. The next one would be love does not envy. Have you ever seen people that compete with each other instead of completing each other? Two words, compete versus complete. I was having a conversation with my husband today, and he told me, he said, you're really like, I get to the point. I'm not a beat around the bush type of person. My husband's very docile. He's pretty cool. But I'm like, look, let's get to this. Why are we doing all this fluff? Let's get to it. So when I say compete versus complete, I think we complete each other in that scenario because sometimes I can come off too abrupt. All right. And I don't have the patience that I just talked about, that long suffering. So we want to not be envy in competing. Sometimes I've seen people, whether it's on a job or whether it's in a romantic situation, you shouldn't be competing with your partner. For what? You should be on the same team, right? So if you're on the same team, there really is no reason to compete. But there is a reason, and the objective is to complete. All right. So make sure that there is a balance. And I guess that's a good word that I want to say. Make sure that there is a balance because that's love, right? That's love. And that's what we want to, that's the goal we want to reach, right? So the next one would be love is not provoked. Have you ever been in a situation, not necessarily a relationship, but a situation where someone says, if you love me, you would do XYZ? That is not cool. I don't think that's cool because you're provoking me. You're trying to manipulate me. That's not love. Um especially lies. That's not love at all. You shouldn't try to trick, manipulate or provoke someone to love you. Um Love is, maintaining a love relationship is not easy. Okay. So you definitely don't need to mix in provoking and manipulation. That is not cool. If you're in that situation, whatever that is, it's time to reevaluate that because anytime someone is saying or getting you to make choices, getting you to make choices that it could be morally compromising, it could be putting you in situations that you're not comfortable with. It's so funny. I really don't listen to R&B, what we call R&B today. I'm an old school type of person. And I have to ask my husband, but it was this song on the radio and she's like, I'm down for you. I got the heater in the car. I'm your ride or die. And I'm like, what in the world? Are they going on a heist or are they in a love relationship? I don't think I need to prove my love by smash and go and all that crazy stuff. That's once again, that is provoking. I don't need to prove my love to that extent that I'm knocking people over the head or stealing and robbing and I got to be packing a gun to prove my love. That is insane. Now that's just my opinion, okay? But I will say this, how you start off a thing is how you end up with a thing. And if you start off like that, you have set the bar of expectation and you know I get in a crazy situation, then I'm gonna be expecting you to go smash and grab, because hey, we got a lifestyle to maintain. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm gonna say this, but get a job. Okay. So the next one is love does not rejoice in iniquity. So come on, Vincetta, what is that? Everything that has everything to do with what is right and true. So that kind of goes with the provoking. I believe all things. Love believes all things and hopes all things. It does not mean that love is blind or naive. When we love, we may recognize problems and failures in people, but we do not lose faith in the possibilities of what that person may become. So to me, this was like once again, we all know what's right from wrong. You shouldn't be in situations where someone again is trying to compromise your morals. But the end part, I do like. I like this end part because it says, um, "Do not lose faith in possibilities of what a person will become." All right. I will say this. I won't say my age, but I would say I'm a little seasoned. Okay, we see this amazing gray going on here, but the reason I say that is how I think today is not necessarily how I thought in my 20s. Okay, so what I'm saying is at in my age in my amazing years of grace, so you Look it up, okay? So I'm not going to tell my age, but in my amazing years of grace, sometimes a person, and mostly men mature differently or slower than us ladies, and sometimes they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get what love really is. They don't get um their role, okay, until they're later, they're older. And sometimes us women, we mature a lot faster than men. So if you're expecting a man in his 20s to act like your good father, that may be a little, I won't say unrealistic, but most 9 times out of 10, that's not what you're gonna get, because men in their 20s, they think different. They're just on a carefree type of, you know, that's the kick they're on. Life is good, live every day like it's your last day. That's usually how the men in their 20s think. But, skipping along, let's see, 2 or 3 decades later, that's when they should be settled. Now I'm going to say something really funny. I hate an older man who dresses young. I can't stand that. So I'm using that example because I believe that he should dress his age. It's okay to be wear nice clothes and the latest clothes, but my goodness, if you still, you know, I don't know, if you still got on 10 rings and gold chains and your pants are down, past your butt, that come on now. That's not gonna work. But I digress. I'm just saying that when you give up on a person too easily, ladies, men, you may be missing out on a good thing. Okay. So now I will say this because it's just popped in my head. Um, don't try to make a person what they're not. Now, when I say potential, a person has potential, you can look at that person and say, okay, they're not quite there, but I kind of see them getting there in the future. That's potential. Okay. That's working with that person, sticking in there. But if you see somebody, let me see, when people say, I'm going to make him love me or I'm going to make her love me, that's going to be a problem because that's not patience. That's trying to make somebody um, be who you want them to be. And that's usually not good. If you have to learn to accept the people where they are and for who they are. Okay. Because again, when I hear men and women say, I'm gonna make her submissive. Are you serious? No, you can't make anyone submissive. Either they are going to willingly be submissive or not. I've heard women say, um, my man better do this or do that. Well, you know what? You're setting yourself up for a big disappointment. It doesn't work like that. Love, in my opinion, should flow freely. Okay. So when you got this in your head, your mindset, you're going to make a person do something, that's not going to end up well for you. My mother used this saying. She said, you can't make grown people do anything. So that's another thing. A person is going to be who they are. They're just going to be, they don't know how to be anybody else. Come on now. So a person's going to be who they are, and you have to either accept or reject who they are. It's just that simple. But again, before you make that decision, go back to number 1, to that long suffering. Okay? Because think about it, someone had to be patient with you, right? Yeah, someone had to be patient with you. So you want to keep that in mind. Finally, for this broadcast, like I said, it's going to be 2 parts. But finally, I want to say that love endures all things. And you probably say, wait a minute now, we where are you going with this? So let's see what that definition. It says love accepts any hardship or rejection. And content. Well, let's see. It builds up and encourage. Okay, determining what is best for another person and doing that. This kind of love is the love that God shows us. So again, I want to focus on determining what is best for the other person and doing it. A lot of times, um, people don't want to give up their, I won't say, when you give up, okay, let's just say, okay, it doesn't have to be your way all the time. Yeah, real simple. When you don't ever want to compromise, love is compromise. If it's always where you want to go, what you want to eat, what you want to do, you, then marry you, date you, be in a relationship by yourself. You have to remember that it takes two to be in a relationship. It takes compromise to have a successful relationship. Once again, this is not just confined to romantic situations. This is acquaintances, friends, and families. Let me think of something. I'll speak to the parents on this one because that's just what popped into my head, or into my spirit. Parents, our children, we have to really, really love them through their transitioning of becoming adults. Okay. I have three children. Um, it's almost like, well, it's not almost, they are all different, all different. Um, some of them, or one of them, you wouldn't even know if they came from the same family. That's hilarious. But they don't learn at the same pace. They don't mature at the same pace. They do things differently. But again, they came from the same household. They came from the same teaching, you know, parental guidance that you had. But when one of them wrecks a car, spends to, go overdraft in their account, or makes a silly mistake, as parents, sometimes we sit there and we compare, like, well, what is wrong with this person? Such and such didn't do this. The oldest one, the youngest one, the middle one, because it's mind boggling. But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to love them through that. They're still our children. You love them through that. In a romantic situation, you have to think about it. A lot of times, like I said, everyone's out here looking for the perfect mate. Let me tell you. Let me see if I can get this. Oh my God, I needed an announcement here or something. I don't know. But there is no perfect mate. And if there is, they're not perfect in the beginning. You grow into that. I can recall that I know I had a friend one time. It says, wow, your husband is this, your husband is that. And it's like, before you meet a person, he's had his past, I've had my past. Remember, I said you meet people where they are, okay? So they are already there. They did not become that person overnight. I'm pretty sure I can go back in his past and talk to some people, and they were like, oh, he wasn't like that before. And people can definitely go in my past and see that I've changed or I've matured. So once again, if that relationship is important to you, if it's significant to you, you're going to do all of these things that I said. You're going to have long suffering. You're going to have patience. You're going to let love endure all things. You're not going to provoke that person. And I want to say that. So really, go back and listen to this video again. Take some notes. Be very mindful, because the whole purpose of this broadcast is so that we can be our best self, so that we can learn to not only be our best self, but be the best friend, mother, husband, sister, brother, wife, to the people that are around us. And the way that we do that is doing reflections, trying to get better and striving to get better every single day. So, again, this is the first part of Unconditional Love. I went over all those things that were or fall under the umbrella of Unconditional Love. On the second part, I'm going to go over forgiveness. Oh, yeah, forgiveness. That's a big one. And we're also going to go over healing. So I don't want to get into that second part. Make sure you tune in to the second part. I hope that this has helped someone in any kind of way. So don't forget to drop me a comment. Leave your birthday if you have a birthday in the month of January and February. Now, if you have a birthday in December, please don't do that, because I'm going to have to, I don't think I'm going to remember if you have a birthday in December. So every month, I want to make sure that you have lunch on me. And that's my appreciation, to just saying thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for rocking with me. I really, really appreciate that. So again, this is the Be Fabulous Show. Woo! And what does that mean, y'all? Let's talk about that theme real quick before I get off of here. Be Fabulous. My name is Vincetta Franklin, and I am fabulous. You're fabulous, and we're going to be fabulous together. Okay, so thank you. Until next time, I'll see you then.